Part 49. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 481. Actually, before meeting Xiaoxian, Meng Lingyuan also believed that with her persuasion, Xiaoxian would probably agree to cooperate with her and form an alliance, and even join the Blood Evil sect as a protector elder. But when he really came into contact with Xiaoxian, only then did she feel that Xiaoxian was not as simple as she thought. It can be said that people like Xiaoxian are not a thing in the pool at all. Even though he is only at the 5th level of the power of the avenue, his temperament and style are destined to become a dragon in the clouds one day in the future. Finally, he reached a status beyond the reach of ordinary people. Master Xiaoxian really impressed me. However, I still think that if we have one more ally in a dangerous secret realm, our chances of winning will be greater. What do you think, Mr. Xiao? Meng Lingyuan said tentatively. Yes, now, haven't we become allies? Xiaoxian actually didn't have much ill will toward Meng Lingyuan. After all, Meng Lingyuan was the only cultivator who did not directly attack Xiaoxian at the family conference at that time. This alone was enough to prove that she was a smart person. Sometimes when communicating or collaborating with a smart person, it would be much simpler. Really? So, if something happens in the secret realm, young Master Xiao is willing to help me, the Blood Evil sect. Meng Lingyuan's eyes lit up. Nature. Now that we are allies, it is easiest to help each other. Xiaoxian smiled. However, I also have a few questions to ask Master Meng Xiao. Hearing Xiaoxian agree, Meng Lingyuan was in a good mood, so she naturally smiled and agreed. I didn't expect that Mr. Xiao, who is always invincible on the battlefield, would still have problems. In this case, I will naturally try my best to explain. How did you see the disguise on my face? Xiaoxian asked. Puck. Xiaoxian didn't expect it. After he asked this question, Meng Lingyuan smiled like a flower. Master Xiaoxian, you don't really think that your concealment skills are very good, do you? Your concealment skills are not even as good as those of ordinary disciples of my Blood Evil sect, he. While smiling. However, when Meng Lingyuan saw Xiaoxian's serious expression, she still stopped in embarrassment. In fact, Xiaoxian was not cheating. He really couldn't figure out the whole story. After all, if you really want to talk about it, he became a saint in the Tianwu continent and broke through the Tao ancestor. Even the leader of Tongtian cult and Patriarch Hong Jun were extremely wary when they saw him. Nowadays, the concealment skills used on the Dao continent are naturally quite good. Who knew that they would be easily detected by Meng Lingyuan now? He was naturally puzzled. On the great Dao continent, although there are many practitioners who practice concealment skills, and the methods of concealment are also varied, but the only one who does not use the power of the great Dao to conceal his figure, is Mr. Xiao. You are the only one. Meng Lingyuan couldn't help but laugh as she spoke. After hearing this, Xiaoxian was enlightened in an instant. Only then did he realize that this place was on the great Dao continent, and all the martial arts, combat techniques, and magical weapons must be in harmony with the power of the great Dao. The method he used to hide his figure before. It's true that I just used spiritual energy as a matter of course. This is like a child playing house, using only a mask to cover his face, thinking he can deceive others, but in fact he basically cannot deceive anyone. This kind of concealment. In front of an expert like Meng Lingyuan, it would be natural for him to be exposed casually. After understanding this, Xiaoxian was really a little embarrassed, and then looked at Meng Lingyuan with interest. Master Meng Xiaogu, it seems that you are not a sword practitioner, right? Why are you so interested in this secret realm? Is this a secret? Meng Lingyuan obviously didn't expect Xiaoxian to ask this question. After being startled, she still smiled and said, it is said that mysterious women are more attractive, so can I maintain a little sense of mystery. Of course, but I saw the blood technique practiced by Master Meng Xiaogu. Not long ago, I also met a person who practiced blood skills. Xiao Xian made an insinuation and said, this person's name is Bai Qingshan. Does Master Meng Xiao Valley know about it? If my prediction is correct, the skills you practice should have something in common, right? Hear this. Meng Lingyuan's face changed instantly. She seemed to realize something, and then she looked at Xiao Xian and said, Master Xiao, what you mean is that you have seen Bai Qingshan before. Is it Bai Qingshan, the leader of the blood sword sect? Not bad. Xiao Xian had no plans to hide it. He is the enemy of our blood evil section. Meng Lingyuan's face was ashen. She took a deep breath and said, back then, he was actually a disciple of our blood fiend sect, but later he stole our sect's secret method, took refuge in the Chixia temple, and established his own section, became the latter's lackey. I see. Get this straight. Xiao Xian understood a lot. Indeed, when fighting against Bai Qingshan, he could feel that although Bai Qingshan's blood sword skills were good, his cultivation talent was not very good, and he was not at all capable of starting a sect. But he was able to establish his own sect. There must be something fishy here. Unexpectedly, things turned out to be like this. In this way, he also helped the blood sword sect to deal with the blood sword section. I wonder if the blood sect would appreciate it? I think. Master Xiao Xian, he should be the genius who appeared in the eye of the ancient mountain a few days ago, right? Just when Xiao Xian was thinking, Meng Lingyuan suddenly said, since you are a genius, why are you still hiding your identity now? You know, your concealment has no effect. Hide. You know I'm hiding it? Xiao Xian was suddenly stunned. In fact, he has indeed been hiding his identity. The reason is also very simple. He does not know enough about the Dao continent. He cannot guarantee that with his own ability, he can truly resist the hidden powers on the Dao continent. There is no way to guarantee it. He can protect the prehistoric continent and the Tianwu continent. All of this is unknown. He couldn't imagine that if the powerful people on the Dao continent knew his life experience and even the background of the continent behind him, they would take measures to invade. After all, he could tell. On the Great Dao continent, any cultivator can easily control the power of the Great Dao. Such characters are destructive beings on both the primordial continent and the Tianwu continent. If such characters appear on those two continents, they will undoubtedly become invincible beings in these continents. Dominate any life on the continent at will. Feel free to control any resource on the road. In this way, Tianwu continent and Honghuan continent will face the greatest catastrophe in history. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 482. For a while, Xiao Xian said nothing, but his eyes remained firm. Now that he has come to this continent, no matter what, he shoulders all the missions and responsibilities on the two continents behind him. So it was certainly impossible for him to watch something like that happen. All right. Since you don't want to say it, then that's it. But I want to remind you that since I can see such things, I think there will be more people who can see it. Meng Lingyuan suddenly asked, I wonder if young Master Xiao Xian is interested in joining our blood evil sect. Join the blood evil sect? Is this a bit far? Xiao Xian was a little surprised. Of course, this all depends on young Master Xiao's wishes, Meng Lingyuan said with a bitter smile. I also know that young Master Xiao is a very promising person. The small temple of the blood evil sect may not be able to support young Master Xiao. Great God! Ha ha! Master Meng Xiaogu praised me. Xiao Xian smiled. It was a response to Meng Lingyuan. At this time, hearing what Xiao Xian and Meng Lingyuan said, Long Fei and Long Wu on the side were very surprised. They couldn't believe that Xiaoxian could have such a great reputation. Blood Evil Sect. This is considered one of the largest sects in the Kanglong Empire. It is said that the elders of the sect worship masters from the Kengshen realm, and among them there are at least tens of thousands of disciples of the Blood Evil Sect. If Xiaoxian can join the Blood Evil Sect, he can also become an elder. Not to mention that the future is immeasurable, it is enough to have a high status in the Kanglong Empire and countless cultivation resources. More importantly, although the name of the sect, Blood Fiend Sect, is not very pleasant, most of the cultivators inside are young and beautiful girls. Ordinary practitioners would squeeze their heads to get inside. There are even some masters in the spiritual realm who shamelessly enter the Blood Evil Sect in order to find suitable Taoist companions. But who knows? Xiaoxian would actually refuse Meng Lingyun's solicitation? In that case, we'll see you in 3 days. Recruitment failed. Meng Lingyun was obviously a little disappointed, but she still politely handed it over and left. As soon as she leaves, Long Fei and Long Wu all gathered around Xiaoxian, hesitating to speak. If you have anything to say, just say it. It should be a little uncomfortable to hold it in your heart. Xiaoxian looked around, looking at the senior brothers and sisters with big eyes and small eyes, and he felt a little dumbfounded. Before, it was just because Mr. Xiao had a great background, but I didn't expect that he was actually the young talent born in the eye of the ancient mountain. Long Fei's mouth almost opened to its maximum. This doesn't count as anything, it's nothing more than an accidental opportunity. Xiaoxian was a little helpless. He didn't know how to explain coming to Daodao continent. Master Xiao, then why did you reject the Blood Evil Sect? The Blood Evil Sect is an amazing sect in the Kanglong Empire. If you can join the Blood Evil Sect, you will get a lot of training resources in the future. Long Wei, his face was puzzled. There's no pie in the sky. For things like cultivation resources, what others give you may not be what you really need. Xiaoxian shook his head. Besides, if you want to obtain the training resources of the Blood Evil Sect, you have to bear the responsibility of the Blood Evil section. This will be a great hindrance to my future cultivation. Long Fei and Long Wu couldn't help but look at each other. For a moment, they also felt that Xiaoxian's unparalleled domineering spirit had been defeated. It seemed that the latter was already determined that he would become a figure standing at the top of this continent in the future. This really shocked them. Perhaps, this is how confident a true genius is. 3 days later, in the royal city of Kanglong Empire, tens of thousands of strong and powerful troops, surrounded by 10 of the proud sons of the Kanglong Empire, walked towards the outside of the city. The destination this time is called Xianqing Mountain. It is said that a war took place here decades ago, and the battle cut the entire mountain in half. So now Xianqing Mountain is divided into 2. In the middle is a deep valley with flowing streams and covered with mountains and forests. Everyone. A month ago, local hunters who were hunting in the mountains discovered a secret realm of swordsmanship that suddenly appeared. Any living creature that came close would be torn into pieces by the sword energy. Some experts from our royal family have discovered that in the past few days, the surrounding sword energy will weaken, allowing practitioners in the spirit god realm to enter. Elder Qiqian stood at the entrance of the secret realm. Furthermore, I discovered that these sword energies all come from a long sword. If you can find this long sword, I think your understanding of the Dao will be improved. Elder Qiqian, please rest assured. We will definitely live up to the orders of our father and elder. A tall, handsome-looking cultivator wearing golden armor said loudly. Behind him were 2 similarly decorated men and a woman. The male was Mo Zhan, the 5th prince of the royal family, and the female was Mo Li, the 3rd princess of the royal family. As for the tall man, it was the eldest prince Mo Feng. Among these 3 people, the ones who have practiced the most inferior techniques are all at the 9th level of the power of the avenue, while the eldest prince has reached the perfection of the power of the avenue. as soon as they appear, suddenly became the center of everyone present. Even Wang Limeng, Lingyun and Zhao Ho, the disciples of the major sects, seemed a little cautious and uneasy in front of them. Perhaps this is the sense of oppression of the royal family. As for Long Fei and Long Wu, they had never seen such a big scene, and they were so frightened that their hearts beat much faster than usual. Only Xiao Xian still looked calm. Looking at these three royal children, his eyelids didn't even twitch. The army escorted everyone into Xianqing Mountain. Afterwards, the intersection of the mountain was blocked and no one was allowed to enter. Elder Qiqian led 10 people and continued walking into the mountains, and finally found a dark cave entrance. Just stand at the entrance of the cave. Xiao Xian felt waves of sword energy appearing, and his body hurt from the cuts. Not only did he take a breath of cold air, but according to what Elder Qiqian said, the sword energy had been weakened a lot. If it had just appeared, the sword energy would have been even more violent. It can be felt now. At this moment, the sword energy was getting stronger and stronger, as if the entrance to the secret realm was about to open. Everyone, be careful. I will create a passage for all of you. You use the power of the avenue to protect your vitals and enter the cave to search for the long sword. If you are lucky and can find other opportunities, it will be considered your good fortune. If the prediction is correct, the secret realm will completely collapse in 10 days. By then, whether you have found the long sword or not, you will have to leave. Do you understand? When Elder Qiqian said the last sentence, he suddenly became serious. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 483. The entrance of the cave. Elder Qiqian's handprints changed rapidly, and a blue-white power of the avenue appeared out of thin air. The vast power of the avenue rushed towards the cave like a green dragon. At the same time, the sword energy that could hurt people scattered like fallen leaves blown by the breeze. Soon, a spacious passage appeared in the cave. Everyone, follow me. After the eldest prince Mo Feng finished speaking, he had a purple magic weapon in his hand. The power of the avenue in the magic weapon protected the bodies of the 3 members of the royal family and walked towards the depths of the cave. See this. Instead, Xiao Xian felt disdainful. The eldest prince, Mo Feng, looks tall and big, but in fact he is also a narrow-minded guy. Obviously there is a magic weapon in his hand that can protect 10 people entering the cave together. But he is good. He deliberately picks the ropes and only uses magic weapons to protect people in the royal family. With his selfish appearance, if there is really danger in the secret realm, he will just wait to fend for himself. Figure this out. Xiao Xian also shook his head and drew out the serious sword. The power of the avenue was wrapped around a long sword, surrounding Long Fei Long Wu, and at the same time created a silver-white protective light barrier, following behind Mo Feng. Walk towards the cave. As for Wang Limeng, Ling Yun, Zhao Ho, and others, the 8 immortals also showed their magical powers across the sea and protected their disciples as they walked towards the cave. Enter the cave. Xiao Xian first felt a warm and moist feeling instantly. It's like entering a rainforest. Look up. He saw that after the Black Cave secret realm, the environment behind suddenly opened up, and there was really a towering forest in front of him. The shading leaves blocked the scorching sun in the sky. In front of these big trees, Xiao Xian just felt like he was an ant standing in front of a giant. This is actually a forest. Could it be that that great master of swordsmanship realized the supreme sword intention in the woods? Long Fei couldn't help but sigh. If this is really the case, this master of swordsmanship's understanding of the great path is truly natural and cannot be climbed. Haha, you are a country bumpkin who has never seen the world. That swordsmanship master is a godlike character. How can the swordsmanship he practices be understood by someone like you? Wang Lei hates the house and the bird. For Xiao Xian's hatred, he naturally regarded Long Fei, Long Wu and others as enemies at this time. However, Long Fei had followed Xiao Xian for so long, and he was no longer the impulsive person he was back then. He just glanced at Wang Lei coldly and didn't say much. Your Highness, if my prediction is correct, this place should be a small world opened up by that great swordsman. His understanding of the great path is really amazing. Wang Lei touched the big tree in front of him and complimented Mo Feng in front of him. However, after hearing this, Mo Feng remained expressionless and just nodded slightly in response to him. In fact, in Mo Feng's opinion, Wang Lei, Zhao Ho and others are almost the same as Xiao Xian Longfei. They are just casual cultivators who are not descendants of the royal family. They are not qualified to come to this secret realm with him. If not for my father's insistence, he was able to lead the royal family's children and obtain the inheritance of swordsmanship easily. It's too much to say it's a small world. There are only natural environment and landforms here. At most, there are some plants and beasts. There is no civilization, no race, and even no cultivation system. At most, this is just a secluded mansion. Xiao Xian suddenly sighed with emotion. In Tianwu continent and Honghuan continent, he had seen a small world created by the true power of cultivation. In these small worlds, humans, beasts, and gods coexist. The sky, the earth, the sun, the moon, and the stars coexist, and there is even a certain way of heaven. Only a place like this can be called a small world. Even, to a certain extent, the entire prehistoric continent is a small world created by the great god Pangu back then. What a loud tone! Young Master Xiao Xian is not very talented, but he can speak with arrogance. According to young Master Xiao, what kind of world can be considered a small world? Wang Lei sneered and teased, I'm afraid, if that sword master could stand in front of you, you wouldn't have the guts to say such a thing. For these, it is obvious that they are looking for trouble. Xiao Xian had no intention of responding at all. Ants provoke people. Do people still have to respond to the past? What Mr. Xiao said is right. This place should be the cave heaven paradise created by a single thought when the great swordsmen practiced swordsmanship back then. The environment here should have the great understanding of the great swordsmanship of that swordsman. Mo Feng looked at Xiao Xian with a strange look in his eyes. He had heard about Xiao Xian's performance at the family conference before, but he didn't pay much attention to the latter. In his opinion, a battle like the family conference is like children's playhouse at best. How can a group of yellow-haired boys who have never touched the threshold of the spiritual god realm have any great insights? So, anywhere in this place, there is a great understanding of the swordsmanship. Zhao Ho's eyes were shining with gold, and he looked at the big tree in front of him longingly, hoping to see something from it. However, Xiao Xian and Mo Feng did not focus on the big tree. Joke. They came to the secret realm this time to find the avenue of swordsmanship. What's so cool about hugging a big tree? Besides, just 10 days sounds like a lot of time, but if it is used to understand the Great Road, it is somewhat stretched. What's more, he hasn't found the long sword used by the sword master yet. How is it possible to waste time on trees and rocks? Xiao Xian and Mo Feng didn't care, they just walked straight towards the depths of the mountain forest. As for Zhao Ho and the few servants who were brought in by the big sect, although they were reluctant to part with the Dao comprehension on these trees, they could only leave reluctantly when they saw Xiao Xian and Mo Feng were gone. Deep in the mountains and forests, it is quiet and peaceful. Walk among the trees. The secret realm was surrounded by dangers, and Mo Feng, who was walking at the front, was wary. He didn't speak, and no one among the 10 people dared to take the initiative to interrupt. Even the princes and princesses of the 2 royal families, Mo Li, Mo, and Zhan, followed quietly. Even more careful than following the Emperor Mo Hong of the Kanglong Empire. Only Xiao Xian could still talk and laugh with Long Fi Long Wu beside him under such circumstances without feeling any nervousness at all. It attracted countless eye rolls from Wang Lei and Zhao Ho. In a place like this, 10 people hugging each other can feel relatively at ease, but in the face of unknown dangers, everyone is still a little uneasy. Russell. As the saying goes, whatever you fear will come. As Mo Feng led the way into the depths of the dense forest, there was suddenly a rustling of footsteps, as if there was a group of people surrounding him. Hu, Zhao Ho, the timidest person, was startled. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 484. Not a human being. Xiao Xian closed his eyes and shook his head slightly. Xiao Xian, what nonsense are you talking about? Didn't you hear so many footsteps outside? Do you want to die? Zhao Ho glared at Xiao Xian and shouted loudly. Shut up. But he wasn't done yet. He was scolded by Mo Feng, who was walking at the front of the team. This time, Zhao Ho was so frightened that he no longer dared to speak. At the same time, the rustling sound still kept ringing. The sound is sometimes on the left, sometimes on the right, sometimes rapid, sometimes soothing, which is frightening to listen to. Under such circumstances, even Mo Feng, who had always been the calmest man, felt a little uneasy. He drew out the long sword from his waist and looked prepared for danger. In response, Xiao Xian just frowned slightly. Although he did not underestimate the source of the voice, he was not that nervous either. After all, he has been practicing for tens of millions of years and has seen a lot. He has seen all the ancient beasts that are so powerful that they can even destroy a world. How could it be possible to be in a state of panic because of an unknown voice? Not to mention, Xiao Xian could roughly feel that the thing that made this sound was not very powerful, and was probably a gregarious creature. The other party should still be testing it now. Just like an African hyena encounters a lone lion, it does not dare to attack directly at the first time. Wanting to understand this, Xiao Xian drew out the serious sword from his body, and instead of just defending like Mo Feng, he rushed directly towards the outside. This scene. But it directly shocked others. Before coming, even Elder Qi Qian gave them numerous warnings, telling them to be careful in the secret realm and not to cause trouble. It would be best if you can find the sword used by the sword master. Find a place to practice and comprehend. In this way, you can get the understanding of the Great Road as early as possible, which is the best choice. Who knew that Xiao Xian would be so bold and would cause trouble for others when he went up? Or even take action directly? Isn't this seeking death? Xiao Xian, you wanna die? Wang Lei broke into a cold sweat. I have seen bold ones, but never such bold ones. What does this mean? The 10 of them entered the secret realm together. They were both prosperous and devastated. It's not scary for Xiao Xian to commit suicide and challenge those unknown monsters, but by doing so, wouldn't he also drag them into the water? Follow him. Mo Feng was equally surprised. But he reacted the next second and followed Xiao Xian with his long sword. After all, although the relationship between them is not harmonious, if they really have to face danger, the most correct choice is to face it together to avoid being defeated individually. Actually, Xiao Xian is not a reckless person. Hearing those tiny footsteps just now, he had roughly judged that these peripheral creatures should be smaller creatures, most likely exotic beasts such as wolves or foxes. Push aside the grass in front of you. Sure enough, he saw that in the forest not far away, there were several wolf-like beasts with double horns on their heads and pure purple bodies, watching him from a distance. The strong smell of blood came from their bodies. It can be roughly judged that most of these things should be carnivorous animals. Purple striped rat. This is a first-order monster. I didn't expect that there were such monsters in the secret realm. And there are so many of them. Wang Lei took a breath of air, looked at these strange beasts in the distance, and couldn't help but said, I once heard Master say that this kind of purple-striped rat wolf is one of the few monsters with clans and tribes, and it has a strong hatred. We must not hurt them, otherwise we will fight to the death. You'd better tell them this. My jealousy is also very strong. If they provoke me, I will not let them go. Xiao Xian sneered. All the time. What he insists on is the idea that man can conquer nature. To practice a religion is to act against nature. If you don't have an unwavering heart, how can you achieve the right results? What's more, a few rats and wolves can scare these chosen sons of the Kanglong Empire. Isn't this ridiculous? Xiao Xian, don't do this nonsense. 3 royal family members are here. Is it possible that you want to provoke those purple-striped rats? Wang Lei gritted his teeth, already hating Xiao Xian in his heart, but at this time he still had the courage to drag in the royal family members like Mo Feng and Mo Zhan around him. After all, even if Xiao Xian had the courage to go against him, is it possible that he can still go against the entire royal family of the Kanglong Empire? 3 royal family members, I don't know how you choose. Do you want to avoid these wolves? Xiao Xian turned around and asked casually. Be bold. Xiao Xian, do you know who you are? How dare you talk to the royal family members like this? It's so daring. Zhao Ho reprimanded loudly. However, his loud voice attracted the attention of some purple-striped rats in the distance. These purple-striped rats had never seen many people. At this moment, seeing Xiao Xian and others, they were not that scared. Instead, he tentatively approached. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for coming into contact with the first-level monster Purple Rat Wolf for the first time and gaining affinity with the first-level monster. Mission, recover the purple-striped rat wolves. Reward, a chance to advance to the Sirius Sword for the first time. Reward, 1 chance to strengthen the Kirin illusion. Reward, 10 plants of spiritual grass. Reward, God rewards those who work hard, a chance to win a lucky draw. At this time, Xiao Xian heard a system prompt. But he didn't understand it for a while. Logically speaking, he had received many gifts from the system for such a long time. From various miraculous elixirs to magic weapons. Even combat skills and innate bones were given to him. Now, why were he inexplicably given so many advancement opportunities and lottery opportunities? Is it possible that he is planning to use these illusory lottery opportunities to improve his strength? Isn't this a bit nonsense? Previous life. He was often poisoned by a certain Hui Teng's lottery. As a lottery insulator, he had never drawn anything good in a lottery, which also made him feel a sense of novelty. What kind of plane are you doing? Brother system, are you kidding me? Sending these things to me, will it really improve my strength? Xiao Xian couldn't help but murmur, I can tell you, now on the Dao continent, my strength is not very good. If you don't improve my strength quickly, I will die inexplicably and you will have to find a host again. No, no, no. You are my carefully chosen destiny host. If something happens to you, I won't even have a place to cry. The system is anxious. After hearing this, Xiao Xian was also satisfied. In fact, with his cultivation experience on both continents, he has long been as strong as steel and has extraordinary perseverance. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 485. At this time, Xiao Xian is actually very confident. With the bug level ability of Time Chang he is not said to be invincible on the Dao continent, but he is not easily manipulated. The reason why I gave the system a hard time just now. I just hope to get more good things. Judging from the previous situation, the system was relatively generous to him, and basically gave him good things. Just recently, the advancement opportunities and lottery opportunities given seemed a bit unreliable, so he tried to find ways to tinker with the system. In that case, can you guarantee that if I draw a lottery at this time, I will get something good? Xiao Xian asked tentatively. Host, please rest assured. This system is suitable for all ages, and no one can bully anyone. As long as you get this system, even a loser in cultivation can become the great emperor, let alone a proud man like the host. Yes, that's the case. I'm relieved. Then host, do you want to try and use this lucky draw opportunity now? Okay, then I'll accept it reluctantly. Xiao Xian was satisfied. He felt that now he seemed to have everything and nothing was missing. However, since who would dislike having too many good things? Lottery. Ding dong. After receiving the host's instructions, the lottery begins. Mid-air. A huge translucent screen appeared out of thin air. On the screen, the colorful circular turntable slowly rotated faster and faster, and the red pointer kept crossing various options. While it's turning, Xiao Xian saw that there were all kinds of rewards on the scale of the turntable. What about 1,000 years of cultivation, cultivation talent gain, innate Taoist platforms, dragon bone protective gear, and even evil ways of refining souls and catching ghosts? The turntable slowly stops. A ding-dong sound. Xiao Xian saw the turntable stop and the pointer stop at a place called Treasure Detection Eye. Seeing this, he felt an inexplicable familiar feeling. Previously, when mining rough stones, I seemed to have obtained something called the Spirit Detecting Eye, and now there is a Treasure Detecting Eye. Are these two things the same? Ding dong. System prompts, the Spirit Detecting Eye and the Treasure Detecting Eye can be synthesized. Please let the host decide whether to synthesize them. Synthesis. Synthesis. Xiao Xian was stunned. He really didn't expect that the system would give him such a suggestion. Logically speaking, anything given to him by the system should basically be very useful. Why did it give him an accessory now? Is it possible? Got tricked by the system again? Ding dong. The system prompts that the host has successfully synthesized the spirit detection code and can successfully explore all the treasures on the mainland. All treasure. Xiao Xian couldn't help being stunned. He couldn't suppress his inner excitement. Over this long period of time, he has made a lot of good things in the system. But this time, the system made it very clear that he could explore all the treasures. Doesn't this mean that when he goes to a place in the future, he can see the treasures as long as he wants? Thus, he may have no shortage of adventures in the future, right? If this is the case, wouldn't it be a matter of course for him to take a further step on the path of cultivation in the future? Master Xiao. The eldest Prince Mo Feng and the others have left, what should we do? Do we want to go with them? Just when Xiao Xian was distracted and communicating with the system, Long Fei on the side reminded him cautiously. Turn out to be. When I saw nearly 100 of these purple striped rats. Mo Feng decisively decided to bypass these purple striped rats and enter the hinterland of the secret realm from another direction, so as to reduce the danger as much as possible. However, he didn't consider others when making this decision. After saying that, he left alone. As for the two royal family members, Mo Li, Mo Zhan, they naturally followed behind without hesitation. Wang Lei and Zhao Ho also left with their men after hesitating for a moment. On the other hand, Xiao Xian and Long Fi Longwu stood motionless. How? Not only is she good looking, but she also has a graceful figure. At this time, she deliberately looks charming, which actually attracts attention. Good. She herself is the direct female disciple of the leader of the Blood Fiend sect. But that's the case. Don't you welcome Mr. Xiao Xian? In this case, it would be a little unreasonable for him to not appreciate it anymore. Xiao Xian nodded, but just looked at Meng Lingyun and asked, "Why did Master Meng Shao Valley choose to follow me? Don't you know that it would be more appropriate to follow Mo Feng and the others?" Good. This is really interesting. Xiao Xian took a look, but found that Meng Lingyun was also here, and couldn't help but ask, "What does Master Meng Shao Valley mean? Does Master Meng Shao Valley also plan to follow us?" Since the family conference, he has not shown too many abilities in front of Meng Lingyun. Xiao Xian's eyebrows lit up with joy. She was probably the only one. Before, he could roughly feel that Meng Lingyun was no ordinary woman, and she always seemed to make the right decisions in some matters. Meng Lingyun shook her head slightly. Although they are members of the royal family and are not weak in strength, they all seem to be descendants of nobles. I'm afraid they will not end well in the secret realm. Originally, even if those guys didn't leave, he would have to think of a way to get them away. Who knew they would leave on their own initiative? Meng Lingyun was thoughtful. In that case, let's go together to find the leader of these purple striped rats. I don't think Mo Feng and the others will end well. No. Xiao Xian glanced at the group of purple striped rats and wolves in the distance and said, "In this way, we may get twice the result with half the effort." Is it possible that Meng Lingyun can predict the future? Xiao Xian's eyes lit up, and then he looked at Longfei Longwu next to him. Logically speaking, it should be impossible for Meng Lingyun to know so many secrets about him. Now that things have developed to this point, he is really curious about why Meng Lingyun chose him so firmly. Can you think now that Mo Feng and the others will not end well? They left just in time. Let's go find the longsword ourselves. How many people are gone? Welcome, of course. How? Meng Lingyun said with annoyance. She could roughly feel that Xiao Xian was definitely an unusual person, and it might be more reliable to follow him today than to follow Mo Feng and others. She said this. At that time, Master Xiao Xian promised me that he could cooperate with our blood evil section. Did he change his mind so quickly? Didn't he just fall asleep and was given a pillow across from him? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 486. What? Master Xiao, you said we are going to find the leader of the purple striped rat wolves. Longfei and Longwu looked at each other, both shocked. The purple striped rat wolf is a magical beast that lives in groups. A low-level purple striped rat wolf may only be at the first or second level, but a purple striped rat clan leader is different. Generally, the leader is at least a 4th level or even a 5th level monster. The strength of such a magical beast is equivalent to that of a human being in the spiritual god realm or even the blue god realm. If fighting in the wild, Warcraft have rough skin and thick flesh, and have sharp claws and teeth. Their combat capabilities are much stronger than humans. If they attack in groups, even the masters of the human blue god realm will have a headache. Spiritual god realm masters can only avoid its edge. This is why Mo Feng and others chose to avoid these purple striped rats after seeing them. Master Xiao. Are you kidding me? Although I said, I feel that following you will have a better future, but you can't really lead us to die, right? If the rest of us meet the leader of the purple striped rat wolf, will we still be alive? It's not just dragons flying and dragons dancing. Meng Lingyun also looked at Xiao Xian with strange eyes, but quickly adjusted her mood. Master Xiao, I think you should stop joking. Let's avoid these monsters, right? No, I'm not joking. Xiao Xian shook his head. Have you ever thought about one thing? Purple striped rats do not have a high status in World of Warcraft, and their strength is not strong. Why do they gather here? Maybe the environment here is more suitable for them to survive. Looking at them, they don't seem to have just migrated here. Maybe their clan is here, so that's why they are like this. Longfi Longwu looked at each other. Wrong. They are not strong, but they still gather here. This shows that there are more powerful monsters around them, and even groups of monsters. Men Lingyun couldn't help but feel a chill running down her spine. All kinds of things can happen in the secret realm, and all kinds of monsters can be encountered. Before they came, they only knew that only cultivators below the spiritual god realm could enter, but when it came to it, no one seemed to have told them that the dangers in the secret realm were all for those below the spiritual god realm. To know. Even though they are the proud ones of heaven. But in the face of death, everyone is still equal. If you really have to encounter a monster with terrifying strength, it will be difficult to survive. Not to mention opportunities and adventures. Master Xiao, are you saying that these purple-striped rat wolves are the weakest? Men Lingyun couldn't help but say. Probably. But when I say we need to find their leader, it's not because I'm afraid of other monsters, but because I have a feeling that maybe by following them, we can find the opportunity we need. The corners of Xiao Xian's mouth raised slightly. In fact, just now, he saw something different. Deep in the purple-striped rat wolf pack, there seems to be a golden and several red light groups, which look like treasures and are very conspicuous. Of course he wanted to believe it. Most people shouldn't be able to see this. Just follow me. Xiao Xian finished speaking confidently and walked directly towards the group of purple-striped rat wolves. The surrounding group of purple-striped rats and wolves seemed to be quite surprised when they saw this situation. Some stepped forward to provoke, some took the initiative to give in, and some just watched from a distance. However, most purple-striped weasels only target Dragon Fei Longwu and Men Lingyun. There was no purple-striped rat wolf targeting Xiao Xian. There were even a few who took the initiative to approach Xiao Xian and showed kindness. This really surprised Men Lingyun. The purple-striped rat wolf is not a very powerful monster, but speaking of it, this kind of gregarious rat wolf group is very cunning and has low trust in strange groups. But now why does seeing Xiao Xian feel like seeing a relative? Master Xiao. Don't ask, let's go to the purple-striped rat wolves first. I believe that what we are looking for must be inside. Are you willing to trust me? Don't wait for Men Lingyun to ask questions. Xiao Xian asked directly. Willing. Men Lingyun hardly hesitated. In fact, she had no reason to suspect anything. Xiao Xian turned around. Ever since she chose to believe Xiao Xian, she could basically only go to the dark side. There was no need to question Xiao Xian at all. You are only at the 5th level of the power of the Great Avenue, and I have reached the perfect level of the power of the Great Avenue. Men Lingyun looked unconvinced. Maybe I can still help you. This should be the lair of the purple-striped rat wolf leader, Men Lingyun said carefully. But really speaking, it seems that this is something that can't be helped. After all, isn't it that they came to the secret realm just to get the treasure? He was very respectful to Xiao Xian as he was to the Emperor. You know, this is just the first level Warcraft affinity, but it can have such an effect. If there are intermediate or even high-level ones in the future, wouldn't it make him take off directly? With Xiao Xian taking the lead. Men Lingyun herself is a direct female disciple of the inner sect of the sect. Snort. This made him happy. Steal something. Yes, I really need your help this time. Xiao Xian nodded. I want you to help us hide our bodies and avoid direct contact with the alpha wolf. It turned out that there was a large cave not far away. There were some bones and remains of corpses at the entrance of the cave, and a low roar came from inside. Beside the treasure, there must be a powerful enemy. He roughly understood that this should be because of the benefits that the system brought to the primary demon god affinity. This is almost something they can be sure of. But, looking at you, are you all planning to follow me? You are so courageous, Xiao Xian smiled. Aren't you afraid of being torn to pieces by the rat wolf inside? Just when he was about to reach the golden ball of light. The purple-striped rat wolf's attitude towards other people has also become a little gentler, and it just follows them from a distance, like a bodyguard. She is usually well informed, and with the strength of the blood evil sect in the Kanglong Empire, she is rarely short of resources. A purple-striped rat wolf that was larger than the other companions walked up to him, hesitantly, as if wanting to stop them. You're not afraid, so what do I have to be afraid of? It's not as good as the wolf's lair, you can't get wolf cubs, you can't get treasures. But for the sake of the treasure, it seems that the only option is to take risks. Seeing this, Xiao Xian couldn't help but become curious. You mean, steal? Look up again. Seeing the determination in everyone's eyes, he nodded slightly. This word almost never existed in her world. Although I now know that the leader of the purple-striped rat wolf is extremely powerful. That's right. Xiao Xian smiled and said, I want to believe that there will be things we need in here. Do you have the courage to follow me in? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 487. Cough cough cough. Master Xiao, isn't it a bit immoral for us to do this? Meng Lingyun's face turned slightly red and she said sheepishly, when my master taught me the concealment technique, he said it must not be used for stealing. That's wrong. What is theft? It must be taking something that belongs to the owner. This is considered theft. Xiao Xian explained, in this secret realm, there are things created by the great swordsman in a single thought. It should be regarded as the things of the great swordsman, but now that guy is probably dead a long time ago. Take his of course things are not considered stolen, right? As a modern person who has traveled through time, he understands very well the stubborn minds of these cultivators. Sometimes, these practitioners just can't wrap their heads around something that is obviously very simple. Therefore, when necessary, Xiao Xian will still play the role of commentator to help them get through some psychological hurdles. That seems to be the case. Let's talk about being naughty. Maybe 100 Meng Lingyun is no match for Xiao Xian. After being fooled by Xiao Xian's 3 sentences, she nodded one after another. She also felt that there seemed to be some truth in what Xiao Xian said. So, think about it, these purple-striped rats are ignorant beasts. It would be a waste to leave those kendo treasures left behind by the kendo masters. Why don't we inherit his mantle? This is not a waste of his swordsmanship knowledge, right? Xiao Xian was good at tempting, what's more, Mo Feng, Wang Lei and the others are not here now. They just don't know that there is a treasure here for the time being. If they know about it, they might just rob it, let alone steal it. He said this. Long Fei and Long Wu looked deeply convinced. They are practitioners who have worked hard from the bottom of society. Naturally, they know the high-ranking people like Mo Feng and Wang Lei very well, and they relatively agree with Xiao Xian's statement. Meng Lingyun felt that something was wrong. But after thinking about it, I couldn't figure out what went wrong. I just nodded and continued, then what do I need to do? Can your concealment technique block the spiritual consciousness of practitioners in the spiritual realm? Xiao Xian asked. Even the Kengshen realm can hide. That's great. In that case, let's go straight into the cave. Now. Yes, now, I believe the harvest this time will be very rich. Okay, what's in the cave? The leader of a 4th-level purple-striped rat wolf, his strength is roughly equivalent to the Kengshen realm of a human cultivator, not much stronger. What? What? Ah. Xiao Xian said this. Meng Lingyun and the other 2 were stunned immediately, and they all looked at Xiao Xian in shock. What the hell is this? Kengshen realm? This is a much higher realm than the spiritual god realm. Although it is a warcraft, it is a much higher realm. This is definitely a destructive level opponent. If they fight head-on, they these days are afraid that they will not be able to survive even one move. This kind of thing happens to ordinary practitioners. I'm afraid he would have run away in despair. Who knew that Xiao Xian could be so bold? I'm going to steal something from a 4th level monster? Master Xiao, is everything you said true? Do we have this ability? Men Lingyun couldn't help but say. Don't worry. Although the purple striped rat has a keen sense of smell and vision, and is bloodthirsty and cruel, it is not incapable of dealing with it. As long as we no longer expose it through concealment techniques, he will not find it. Xiao Xian smiled and said, besides, you may not have noticed that this purple striped rat wolf has been injured. How can I see it? This time period should be the time when the purple striped rat is hunting, but it didn't come out and even hid. Don't you feel that there is something wrong with this? Just rely on this. Of course not. If you look closely, you can feel a faint blood energy in the cave. Blood energy. Xiao Xian said it in one sentence. Xiao Xian sighed. In their opinion, Xiao Xian is their leader. Men Lingyun and others suddenly looked at each other. If he really has to face this purple striped rat wolf, he can rely on the passage of time to be safe and sound. In Xiao Xian's plan, Men Lingyun plays a relatively important role. If she is unwilling to take risks, then the concealment technique will naturally be gone. Since you all agree. Men Lingyun Mo Feng and the others obviously don't have this luck, they will probably be torn into pieces by this purple striped rat wolf, and even because they are in the secret realm, most of their souls will not be able to return to the sect. But I have to say that this is the normal situation in the secret realm. Before entering the secret realm, I have thought about what might happen. This purple striped rat wolf recently fought with other monsters and failed in the fight, so it hid in the cave to recover from its injuries and could not go out. Then, doesn't it mean that this secret realm is too dangerous? They had to think of other ways to enter the cave. Then they all followed Xiao Xian's example and smelled it in the cave. You may get a chance, but you are more likely to lose your life. To be honest, we have better luck. If we are unlucky, when we encounter this purple striped rat wolf at its peak, I am afraid that it will be killed as soon as it enters the secret. I don't have anything else to say, but, there is one thing that I think needs to be explained in advance. We senior brothers and sisters are willing to listen to young Master Xiao Xian. If I predict well. Sure enough, I smelled a faint smell of blood and rotten smell. If it weren't for Mr. Xiao, the two of us would not have the qualifications to enter the secret realm. Therefore, whatever Mr. Xiao Xian wants to do, please do it right away. There may be dangers. Xiao Xian's expression was serious. Besides, this thing should be the kendo opportunity left by that kendo master. Are you interested? Men Lingyun and others looked at each other with understanding expressions on their faces. Longfei Longwu said nothing. But relative to the growth in strength, they are also very excited. Immediately, the success of Men Lingyun and the others ignited their confidence. At worst, leave the secret realm and think about exploring the secret later. As long as Xiao Xian makes a decision, they will choose to follow it without hesitation, even if there are mountains of swords and seas of fire ahead, they will not blink an eye. Afterwards, Xiao Xian and the others focused on Men Lingyun. Naturally dangerous. He said this. Although I don't want to admit it. Indeed. Enter the secret realm. Men Lingyun glanced at Xiao Xian and said, Master Xiao, if there are really swordsmanship secrets in the cave, how should they be distributed? However, I can feel that there is something we need in this cave. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 488. Treasure distribution. This is the most sensitive and core issue. After all, the current situation between Xiao Xian and Meng Lingyun is just a cooperative relationship. Since it is cooperation, it is naturally for profit, and how to distribute it is a key issue. For allies, Xiao Xian is not a stingy person. What's more, now is the time when Meng Lingyun needs help. Needless to say, he will give the latter the wealth and opportunities he deserves. Don't worry, if we succeed we will get a chance. Of all the opportunities, I will only choose one, and you will distribute the rest fairly. Xiao Xian said seriously. Besides, what I can guarantee is that if you are still not satisfied, I will give you priority in finding the opportunities you need in the secret realm. No matter from any angle. Xiao Xian's choice can be considered generous. After all, he is the backbone of the secret realm this time. It is remarkable that he can make such a level of concession at this time. Is what Mr. Xiao said true? Meng Lingyun even couldn't believe it. A gentleman's words are hard to chase, Xiao Xian said without blinking. I, Xiao, live in this world and the most disdainful thing is to break my promise and gain weight. Oh. At this time, Meng Lingyun didn't know why. Although she and Xiao Xian had not met each other for a long time, and their understanding of each other was not very deep, she could always feel that Xiao Xian's words did not deceive her. There is even an inexplicable sense of trust in the latter. Meng Lingyun accepted the words of this play. Naturally, Longfi Longwu didn't say much else. After nodding, he looked at Xiao Xian seriously, obviously ready for the next step. Under Xiao Xian's eyes, Meng Lingyun's expression became serious, and she and the blood evil sect disciple beside her were running a technique at the same time, and soon both of them had a pink fist-sized ball in their hands. Under the blessing of the power of the Great Road, the ball kept spinning. Moreover, it continued to grow at a speed visible to the naked eye, and finally expanded into a huge blood-colored wall, which was large enough to cover Xiao Xian and the others. Xiao Xian tentatively used his spiritual consciousness to explore the dream spirit behind the blood-colored wall, but found nothing. Obviously, this blood-colored wall should be able to block all visits by divine consciousness. Under Meng Lingyun's greeting, Xiao Xian and others took the initiative to enter the blood-colored wall. At this time, they clearly felt that the breath and form on their bodies and even their consciousness had become a lot more illusory. A lot of the strength in his body seemed to be drained away in an instant. This situation really surprised Xiao Xian. He could roughly guess that Meng Lingyun's skills were probably very effective, and the blood evil sect's skills could probably block their auras. But that's the case. He also didn't expect that Meng Lingyun's skills could play such an important role. Even being able to hide their strength and consciousness is simply unimaginable and unimaginable. It's amazing. I didn't expect Master Meng Xiaogu to have such an ability. Seriously speaking, such a concealment technique should be amazing in the entire Kanglong Empire, right? Xiao Xian complimented sincerely. Of course. Our blood demon sect is the best at hiding in the Kanglong Empire. Naturally, we are second to none in the entire Kanglong Empire. Meng Lingyun hesitated for a moment, then suddenly said, but there is one more thing I think it is necessary to tell you. Now, Xiao Xian and others were already hidden in the bloody wall. Basically, just wait for Meng Lingyun to say a word and then you can enter the cave. Just say it if you have anything to say. Xiao Xian was a little puzzled. Although my blood evil concealment technique can completely hide the aura of the technique on my body, it has a side effect, that is, there is no way to use the power of the avenue in the blood-colored wall, Meng Lingyun said. Doesn't this mean that if we are attacked when we are hiding, we will have to endure it? Long Fei asked. Good. Moreover, within the blood-colored walls, our bodies will become much weaker. Meng Lingyun added, so what I want to say is, if you are hiding your body shape, don't use skills casually. After hearing this, Xiao Xian and others looked at each other and nodded. At this moment, Meng Lingyun is undoubtedly an ally of Xiao Xian and others. At this time, it is naturally impossible to deceive them. Let's go. Although there may be dangers in the cave, we might be lucky and not encounter the injured purple-striped rat wolf. This is best. Xiao Xian said. Soon, after Meng Lingyun's bloody wall merged with everyone's bodies, the group of people has become completely translucent. If you don't look carefully, you can't tell that they are standing here. Xiao Xian is quite satisfied with this. After nodding, he walked towards the depths of the cave. At this time, he saw a red light group in front of him, with a big exclamation mark on the light group. Clearly, this is a dangerous sign. Xiao Xian quickly put his hand on his lips and signaled to Meng Lingyun and others behind him that there was danger ahead. At this moment, Meng Lingyun and others also felt a little guilty on their faces. They were considered capable people, but after entering the secret realm for such a long time, they were really frightened by the situation in the secret realm. Let's not talk about the so-called fourth-level monster. Simply speaking, the purple-striped rat they had just encountered at the entrance of the cave was enough to frighten him. With Xiao Xian's reminder, Meng Lingyun and others were prepared early. Although they had concealed their figures, they still walked forward cautiously, tiptoeing. Instead, it looks a bit sneaky. After walking to the front, Xiao Xian also discovered that the system's reminder was quite reliable. There was actually a rat wolf covered in black fur lying on the ground not far away. This rat wolf was larger in size and build than any previously encountered. Moreover, there were several shocking wounds on his body, and purple blood seeped out, attracting a group of mosquito bites. Obviously, this should be the leader of the purple-striped rats at the door. Despite the distance, but Xiao Xian and others can still feel the powerful aura on the leader of the purple-striped rat wolf, which can make people feel frightened with every breath. From the white human skeletons next to the purple-striped rat wolf, it can be easily judged that this purple-striped rat wolf does not mind devouring humans. But see here. Xiao Xian was suddenly stunned. He stood there, frowning. Humanity. Look at the white skeleton next to this purple-striped rat. He seemed to realize something. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 489. What's wrong? Meng Lingyun also seemed to realize something. She walked to the purple-striped rat-head wolf and asked carefully, is there something wrong? Indeed. You can look at these skeletons and think about human cultivators. Xiao Xian approached the skeleton on the ground. Only then did he realize that some of these white bones had some scarlet flesh and blood on them, as if they had just been killed. This, could it be Wang Lei and the others? Meng Lingyun also felt a little guilty. Won't. After Xiao Xian thought for a moment, he shook his head and said, Wang Lei and the others entered the secret realm from another direction. They should not have encountered these purple-striped rats, so the corpses should not be theirs. Then, that means there are other aborigines in this secret realm, Meng Lingyun said. Judging from the current situation, this is the only situation. Xiao Xian frowned. He originally thought that the secret realm was just some natural vegetation and magical beasts and demons, but he did not expect that there were also humans. This is troublesome. If there were really human cultivators, they might have already obtained the legacy of that swordsman master, and even these humans would protect these legacy. Meng Lingyun wanted to understand these joints. Her face became a little more solemn and she said, then we may encounter more troubles in the future. What she said was actually normal. After all, there are only 6 of them now. Even compared with those of Mo Feng Mo Zhan, their combat effectiveness is still relatively weak. But who knew that a native tribe in the secret realm would actually appear now? It's not that simple anymore. If the local tribe is strong, it may be a bit difficult and troublesome to deal with those people with their help. What do you want to do? For the rest of the journey, should we follow the same path as before? Men Lingyun looked back at Xiaoxian. Now, it is almost certain that there are some unknown human dangers in the secret realm, which perhaps even Elder Qiqian and the others don't know. Indeed so. But in my opinion, maybe these things are not necessarily a bad thing. At least for the time being, we can take precautions if we know about it. Xiaoxian said after thinking for a while. He stated this. Men Lingyun and others were even more puzzled. You know, now they have encountered all kinds of troubles in the secret realm, from countless purple-striped rats to fourth-level monsters, which is enough trouble. But who knows what Xiaoxian means? It seems like he didn't take this matter to heart at all. Is this what Xiaoxian really thinks in his heart? Or was he just saying this on purpose to comfort everyone? Just to play a role in stabilizing the morale of the military? Continue to go. Since this purple-striped rat is here, then maybe we will find the treasure we need next. Xiaoxian is determined. He has been practicing for so many years and has encountered countless dangers. Not to mention that he hadn't seen any local tribes yet. Even if he did see them, he wouldn't really be afraid, so he simply continued walking towards the back of the cave. Walked more than 10 meters. Xiaoxian saw a three-way intersection. After looking at it with the exploratory eyes given by the system, he saw that the three-way intersection in the middle was going to the golden treasure, and the other two were going to the red treasure. It was different from the previous sighting of the purple-striped rat. This time, a big question mark is displayed on the golden treasure and the red treasure. I choose the middle. You can choose the other two. As for the reward you will get, it depends on your luck. Are you willing to accept it? Xiaoxian pointed to the middle passage, and then looked at everyone. Men Lingyun and Longfi Longwu looked at Xiaoxian in disbelief. There are only 3 cave passages in front of him. Even they themselves didn't believe there would be anything good behind it, but looking at Xiaoxian's look, it seemed like he was sure there was a treasure behind it. Why? Why can Xiaoxian be so sure? The purple-striped rat wolf is a kind of thing that is afraid of the cold. This cave was personally selected by the leader of the purple-striped rat wolf, so the temperature is naturally relatively suitable. Xiaoxian stepped forward and reached out to touch the suspended secret book. The next second, the power of the great avenue around him suddenly changed. But that's the case. In the end, I chose to admit it. Of course, no matter what, I still hope you can choose to believe me, and I will never let you down. He still doesn't know who the master swordsman who created this secret realm is, but it is undeniable that this master of swordsmanship must be the only master of swordsmanship in the world. Moreover, this cave is deep in the mountain. He was still a little curious and wanted to find out what this golden, shining treasure was. Hidden such a secret book. This golden secret book turned into a stream of light and penetrated directly into his body. He felt a unique power of the avenue. We'll meet here in an hour. Logically speaking, it can't be that cold. When he reached the end of the passage, he really saw something a little different. He saw a golden tome suspended at the end of the cave. Xiaoxian looked serious. If what I expected is good, there are good things behind these 3 passages. He felt that this power of the avenue seemed to contain a vague sword intention. It seemed that this book should be a precious sword secret book. Although he can roughly know that the system will not deceive him, since it said that there are good things in this channel, it will definitely make his eyes light up. Then we, brother and sister, go to the right. Now this swordsman master can be in the secret realm he worked so hard to create. So now Xiaoxian really doesn't understand it? In the end, he thinks there is only one possibility, and that is the cold caused by the treasure inside. Mr. Xiao, are you sure that there is something we need behind you? Men Lingyun couldn't help but ask. Secrets of swordsmanship. He was also a little curious. Go inside along the passage. For a while, Xiao Xian clearly felt that as the passage went deeper, the temperature inside slowly dropped, and at the end, he felt cold all over his body. Meng Lingyun and others looked at each other in confusion. This really made him a little unbelievable. Just get close. After Xiao Xian finished speaking, he walked towards the middle passage. Xiao Xian was delighted. Xiao Xian couldn't help but quicken his steps, eager to see what this golden ball of light represented. Could it be the long sword that Elder Qi Qian mentioned before? This is enough to prove that this secret book must be very precious. I'm going to the left. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 490. For a moment, Xiao Xian felt that there was an extra person in his head. He was a middle-aged man wearing a white robe, with serious eyebrows, but holding a long sword. Who are you? He turned out to be a cultivator who has not been able to enter the spiritual god realm. Is that so? Fate. Could it be that my swordsmanship is about to decline? Senior, are you the master of this secret realm? Hear this. Xiao Xian felt a little uncomfortable in his heart. Since he has been practicing for such a long time, he has met many big people, and even the number of big people who have died in his hands is countless. But he has never seen such an arrogant swordsman practitioner. Listening to the meaning behind the words of this white-clothed kendo master, it is obvious that he looks down on him, and seems to take it for granted that he is not capable of carrying the kendo in him. Yes, I am Gong Sunhea, the swordsman in white said. Gong Sunhea. Xiao Xian's heart suddenly became awe-inspiring. This wasn't the first time he heard this name. According to Chen Yao, this Gong Sunhea was once one of the most powerful sword cultivators in the eastern wilderness continent. I didn't expect to meet him here. But Gong Sunhea should be dead now. Why are you still here? Since you have heard of my reputation, you should also know about my Wuji swordsmanship, right? That's all. Although you are not very strong, you still have some strength. The most valuable thing is that you are still a swordsman. This can be regarded as luck. Gong Sunhea sighed and looked up at the sky. There are two things that I value most in my life, one sword and one sword. I don't want to think that at the end of sword practice, nothing will be achieved, but at the end of Tao practice, I will. Today I will teach you the art of swordsmanship. I hope you can take a further step in the art of swordsmanship in the future and not fall into the prestige of our eastern wilderness giant continent. This sword is called Wuji Kendo. Yes. Xiao Xian was startled. Then, he saw Gong Sunhea turning the tip of the sword in his hand and starting to dance with the sword. This time, Xiao Xian was really surprised. He swore that this time he saw the most gorgeous and splendid swordsmanship in the world. Although Gong Sunhea only had a trace of his soul left. But you can still see the ability of others to unite their swords. Long sword and him. It's like they are fused together. People are swords, swords are people. There are 36 moves of Wuji Kendo. In each move, the long sword thrust out from an angle that Xiao Xian could not believe, completely subverting his understanding of swordsmanship. This is the way of the sword. Xiao Xian couldn't help but sigh. At the same time, I didn't dare to be negligent in the slightest, and memorized the sword skills this time into my mind in a decent manner. But soon he became a little confused. He clearly felt that with the sword dance just now, Gong Sunhea had almost understood the way of the sword. But why does Gong Sunhea still say that he has nothing in the way of swordsmanship? For a moment, Xiao Xian had enough reasons to suspect that this guy was in Versailles. Wuji Kendo is the swordsmanship closest to Kendo that I have spent my whole life studying. I hope you have a good practice and don't let Wuji sword be dusted. Gong Sunhea sighed, if you practice properly, it may be possible to transcend the dragon god realm and ascend to that realm in this life. Forget it, I'll give you some more power. Said. This afterimage of him slowly dissipated. Then, there was a power of the Great Avenue in the Golden Tome, and then this power was directly instilled into Xiao Xian's body. Xiao Xian didn't expect it. After he obtained Gongsun Hei's Wuji swordsmanship, he actually gained some strength. He did not dare to neglect, and quickly sat cross-legged on the ground and began to digest this majestic power of the avenue. After this power penetrated into the body, Xiao Xian did not feel any discomfort. Instead, he could feel that this power was actually strengthening the body's functions independently. Bones, meridians, muscles, qi. He found that since the remnant soul of Gongsun Hei appeared, the understanding of the Great Road in this place had been extremely reduced, and it had completely turned into a mediocre cave. Of course, it seems to be heading directly towards the perfect development of the power of the avenue. Master Xiao Xian has stayed in this passage for so long. I wonder what benefits he has gained? Why don't you show it to us? Meng Lingyun joked. Xiao Xian's strength is slowly increasing with the power of the avenue. After spitting out a breath of turbid air, it seems that with every move he makes, he can understand the surrounding avenues. All areas of the cultivator that need to be strengthened. Xiao Xian slowly retreated to the three-way intersection just now. This is just the perfection of the power of the avenue. I really can't believe what kind of understanding you will have of the avenue between heaven and earth if you really reach the realm of spiritual gods. You know, even if his realm has been improved today, if his strength has not improved along with his realm, it will be useless. After sighing with emotion, Xiao Xian felt a sense of relief in himself, as if he had a kind of understanding that ordinary people did not have, and he became more sensitive to the great road between heaven and earth. For a while, what he can feel is that with the blessing of this power, his realm is also steadily improving, from the previous 5th level of the power of the avenue to the 7th level. And this power is slowly increasing. Therefore, Xiao Xian chose the safest method. If it is said that Wuji swordsmanship is the most precious thing in this secret realm, what will they get? Xiao Xian could even touch the barrier of the spiritual god realm. It's unbelievable. Call. To his surprise, Meng Lingyun and the others were already waiting for him at the three-way intersection. He felt that as long as he gritted his teeth, he could easily break through this barrier and become a master in the spiritual realm. If he does not have the strength to match his own realm, even if he is promoted to the spiritual god realm, at least he will become a background for others to challenge him, or at worst, his cultivation foundation will be damaged, which will affect his future cultivation. You have already arrived. Xiao Xian was a little embarrassed. He originally thought that he should be the fastest, but who knew that he would be the slowest? On the contrary, what practitioners should pay more attention to is the increase in their own strength. Is this the benefit of increased strength? They are slowly becoming stronger, and there will even be a gentle force washing his muscles, bones and veins again and again, making him feel like a spring breeze. But at the last moment, he still resisted this idea. He understood that the most important thing in cultivating a way was not the rapid improvement of realm. While thinking about it, Xiao Xian looked again at the place where Wuji Sword Dao appeared just now. Even to some extent. Fix your own realm and perfect it with the power of the Great Road. I wonder how Meng Lingyun and the others are doing.